Hey guys, it's Margie, and today I'm doing a movie review of the 2012 film Life of Pi. This film stars, and I'm probably going to butcher all these, but anyway, Suraj Sharma, Irfan Khan, Taboo, Rafe Spall, Adil Hussain, Gerard Depardieu, Atush Tandon, and Gautam Baloor. It was directed by Ang Lee, who also produced it. Screenplay by David Magee. Music by Michael Dana. Visual effects supervisor Bill Westenhofer. Producers Ang Lee, Gil Netter, and David Womark. Editor Tim Squires. Cinematographer Claudio Miranda. So the plot for this one, guys, is not really a plot. It's more like a story. There's a writer who's suffering from essentially writer's block, and he meets Pi, and he wants to hear Pi's story. So Pi is older now, and so basically it's just Pi remembering some of the events from his life and things that shaped him, and sharing things with this writer, and we get to see it. So I know, kind of but there's no real good way to describe it, if you ask me. Check out the trailer. Yeah. Okay, before I jump into performances on this one, I just want to say that I saw the trailer for this, and I thought it was going to be a beautiful, beautiful film based on the visuals, which were absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to get to all that, but I saw the trailer for this and I thought, you know, that looks like a movie that I would really enjoy watching. And it was coming out in theaters and yada, 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 and I mentioned it to a friend of mine, and I said, trust me, that is going to be a good movie. Like, just trust me. And my friend was like, are you lost your mind? It's going to be awful. Like, it's going to be so cheesy and sappy. And somebody else that he knew had already seen it, and they were like, it was the worst movie ever and all this. And I was like, listen to me. When this movie comes out, you know, or you have the chance to see it. It was already out, but, you know, watch it, because it's going to be good. Trust me. And, of course, it was nominated for Best Picture. Ang Lee won Best Director at the Oscars, so I think I'm right. Just saying. I mean, I don't know. And I'm sure you've experienced this so many times when you're like, trust me, I can tell a good movie, like, or at least in this incident, like, trust me, this one's going to be good, and you tell that to somebody, and they're like, oh, no, it's not, and yada, yada, and then it gets nominated for Best Picture, and I'm like, yeah, good film. Okay, who cares, you know, not every movie that's nominated for Best Picture, though, is a good picture, but I'm getting to why this one's a good movie. Okay. Jumping into performances, we're going to start with Suraj Sharma, who plays, through most of the film, he plays the Pi when he's like 18 years old or something like that. I thought he crushed it. I thought he absolutely crushed it. He did so many good things, and since most of the movie is just him by himself, and of course he's interacting with like visual effects and animals, you know, but I mean, it's so hard to carry a film. It is so hard, and like just by yourself, when you're the only thing that's on the camera, to not just collapse under the weight of it. And he did not. He did so well, and this is actually like his first major film. I think his brother was actually going to audition for it, and his brother said, oh, come on and go with me, and we'll both audition, and he did, and he won the part, so that's crazy, but he did so wonderful. Everything was believable. Everything was great. He held your attention. I mean, it was just all perfect for me. Irfan Khan is such a great underrated actor. I've seen him in several things, and nobody knows who he is, or at least a lot of people I know don't, and I think that's a shame because he's a really good actor. So when I heard he was in this, I was very excited because, of course, I think he's a great actor, and he's very underrated, so of course he was great. I mean, he was so good. He always delivers. Everybody else here, I'm just going to, since there's such huge cast, I will address everybody here. Taboo was good. She plays the mother. and nothing really stood out to me, but she was just kind of there to support everything, so I thought she was good, though. I really did. Rafe Spall was good. He plays the author that comes to talk to Pi. I didn't think there was anything else he could have done. Great. So many good performances in this movie, y'all, especially from Suraj Sharma because he had like all the screen time. But yeah, he just made everything look good. Adele Hussain, great. Gautam Ballur, great. I made special notes of Atush Tandon, who plays like the 12-year-old Pi. So good. Wow. Wow, so refreshing. He crushed it. He had some really emotional scenes. All of his line deliveries were believable. I mean, he is going to be one to watch if he keeps acting because he was really, really, really great. So if you watch this movie, watch out for him because he's good. Gerard Depardieu, again, another one of those actors that nobody's heard of that has done so many good films. And he had a really, really little role. But great. He did such a good job. Let's move on to the directing for this one. This was directed by Mr. Ang Lee, and he won the Oscar for Best Director for this one. And some people don't think it was deserved and all of that. I can't really say whether it was or not because the only other film that I've seen that was nominated, you know, in the Best Director category is Lincoln, which I've done a previous review of, and I thought the directing for Lincoln was great. Of course it's Spielberg, but, you know, and I wouldn't have minded Spielberg winning it all because I thought the directing in it was so good. I thought the directing, which I'm getting off track, but the point is that, you know, some people didn't want Spielberg to win because, oh, he's already won twice, and, you know, yeah, it's Spielberg, and of course the Academy's going to give it to him or whatever. I don't know. I felt like Spielberg did almost as well as Ang Lee, but I felt like Ang Lee deserved it. I mean, I thought they were both deserving. I would have been happy if either of them had won. And again, I haven't seen the other films that were nominated for Best Director, so I can't comment, but, yeah, what a massive project, too, for Ang Lee to take on. I mean, it's written on a novel, so you've got the book fans that are going to want to pick on you if you don't stay true to the book, and you've got all these visual effects. You've got an actor that's never worked before in a film. I mean, you've just got there's so many ways to go wrong, and he did it all so well. So, yeah, probably considering all of that, you know, he probably did, you know, deserve it a little more, but I'm not going to really get into that. He won. That's what matters. Okay, moving on. I'm dragging. Moving on. The screenplay by David Magee. He also wrote the screenplay for Finding Neverland, if that gives you any connection to him. I thought the screenplay for this was really good. And there was a couple sappy moments, but it could have been done so wrongly, and you know, this was adapted from a novel, so I'm giving him everything because, you know, there's certain things that the novelist and you know, probably Ang Lee were like, oh, we have to have this in there, you know, from the book and yada yada. So great. The writing for this was really lovely, and again, there was so much writing that like was non-dialogue, and I thought all of that was great. The way, you know, the pacing and everything was great, the way they wrote it. So good. Music by Michael Dana. Michael Dana, if any of you do not know who he is, he also did the music for Little Miss Sunshine and Moneyball and 500 Days of Summer, so needless to say, he knows what he's doing. He also won the Oscar for Best Score for this score, and I'm telling you, it was lovely. And some of it I didn't really get into because I was just like, well, this is okay, but then like those huge climactic moments and everything, it was just like, wow. He did such a good job. Again, I'm just saying he won the Oscar. I'm not going to comment on whether or not I think he should have won, other than it was a great score and he won the Oscar, so you can judge that. Anyway, let's move on to the visual effects supervisor, which I normally do not touch on, but I've got to give it to Mr. Bill Westenhofer. Holy mackerel. 10 out of 10. Oh my stars! And just be aware. When I watched this movie, I watched it with a friend that had already seen it. And as we were watching it, I leaned over to my friend and I said, "Well, you know there was no real tiger, right?" And they're like, "Wait, they never used a real tiger." I was like, "No, it's all visual effects." And they were like, "Holy cow." And so all throughout the rest of the movie, like, the tiger would do something or it'd be so amazing, and my friend would lean over to me and say, "That's not a real tiger." And I'd be like, "No, it's really not." Oh my gosh, y'all, the tiger is so amazing. Like, he should have gotten the Oscar just for that. Holy mackerel. Great, and it just, everything, the animation is so gorgeous. I mean, this movie is breathtaking. Editing by Mr. Tim Squires. And Tim Squires also edited Sense and Sensibility, which Ang Lee also directed. He works with Ang Lee often. He's done several projects with him. I thought the editing was great. It did not get draggy. A few of the scenes were slower paced, but that's not editing. That's the tone of the film. So, and you know, I thought it was perfect. I mean, I'm not criticizing it. I'm just telling you. I thought it was great. I thought the editing on this was so good, and it could have been so bad. And there weren't any scenes that I was like, you could have cut this. I mean, there were scenes that you could have done without as far as plot, but the scenes that weren't like necessary added to the film. So, you know, it's great if you want to have unnecessary scenes as far as plot development, just make them be worthwhile, you know. So, and he did that. So, great. Cinematography by Mr. Claudio Miranda. He also won the Oscar, he also won the Oscar for cinematography at the 2012 Oscars. Holy mackerel. Ooh, this was no joke. The cinematography for this was so beautiful. Before I jump into that, he also did cinematography for Oblivion and The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, so if that gives you any connection to him. But I thought that the Oscar for this was so deserved because oh my gosh, I can't even talk. I'm just seeing in my head how beautiful all the scenes were, and I literally cannot speak. The lighting was perfect in everything. This film is one of the most visually breathtaking films I have ever seen. Okay, let's say you hate the writing, you hate the story, you think the acting is crap, whatever, which I could not disagree with you more if you think that. I'm just saying. But even if you think all that, block all of that out and just like watch the film as like a beautiful thing. Like, just if you don't want to look at the actor or whatever, just look at like what's going on behind him. Holy cow, the skies and the oceans and the, you know, everything is so lush and rich, and holy cow. And applause to everybody that worked on this movie, because you can have, you know, rich and dazzling and all that and have it all be pointless and just, you know, feel false and just like, well, I need more than a beautiful shot, you know, kind of what I touched on with Last of the Mohicans, which I've done a previous review of. But holy cow, it was so perfect, and I mean, just so beautiful. Oh my word, so beautiful. And I knew he was going to win it when he got nominated, and I said he better win. Like, oh my word. And not saying that everybody else that was in that category did not do great, but I mean, I you know, thought he would win, and of course he did. Great, 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 great. So many beautiful, beautiful, oh God. Every shot is breathtaking. Everything is perfect. Everything is dazzling. It could not be any better. Absolutely great. So, anyway, I just want to jump into this quick parents guide, because I know this review is dragging on, but this is one of those major films, guys, and the major films are going to take a while. As you know from like my previous review of Lincoln, literally is like, oh crap, it's so long. But anyway, alright, so jumping into this parents guide, there's no profanity. None. Oh my goodness. Oh no, so excited. I was just like, yay, no profanity. Thank you, Mr. Lee, and thank you to the writers. Okay. There's a lot of spiritual content in this. I normally don't touch on this, but the, you know, Pi has several different faiths, Moving on to the sexual content, none. Not a thing. Moving on to the smoking and drinking, none. That I can remember. And if I didn't remember it, it didn't stick out. So, alright, moving on to the violence and gore. There's some animal fights. But they are animated. I mean, the animals are all animated pretty much. And, you know, you see them, which doesn't mean it doesn't look real. As I've just addressed, the tiger is ridiculously real and it's fake. But, yeah, there's like, you know, animals kill each other on the boat and yada yada, but they don't really show any of it. And, you know, it's just kind of like, oh, you know, we don't see it. We know it's happening and we hear like the sounds and stuff, but it's not really gone into, and what they do go into is really mild and really, you know, tasteful. So that didn't bother me. There is a vomiting scene or two. Not that bad, you know, just if that grosses you out. So, anyway, guys, I know this film is so clean. Another great incentive for me to see it. And I do just want to take one quick second to address the people that are saying, I don't think this is like a serious picture, yada, yada, yada. I don't know why it was nominated for Best Picture, yada, yada, yada. I gotta say I was surprised that it was nominated for Best Picture, just because I wasn't expecting it, but I was so glad that it was, because it's so beautiful. And even if you think this is like a children's movie or whatever, which I don't, I mean, hello. Even if you think that, everybody that worked on this film could not have done any better than they did. I mean, the work that was put in on this thing is so beautiful. And they're all just at the top of their game. And, I mean, just to everybody that worked on this film, I would standing owe you if I wouldn't go out of camera. I mean, so great. So, I mean, what more could they do? I mean, what more could they give? Just, like, tell me. I don't know. So, I think that's why I was nominated for Best Picture, and that's why I think it deserved to be nominated for Best Picture, because it's beautiful filmmaking. And, I don't know, I thought it was epic. I'm giving this film 4.5 stars out of 5, more like 4.75 stars out of 5, just because it wasn't quite perfect to me. Yes, I do have 5 out of 5 star movies, but anyway, this is not one of them, but it's like just a tick away from it. So anyway, love this film, guys. I would watch this one again, because again, even if you hate the film, the images and everything in it are so breathtaking, it's worth watching it again for that alone, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think of Life of Pi. Thanks so much for checking out my review of the 2012 film Life of Pi. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys later.